I seen a post just now on X with some leftist prominent figure talking about how gas will go up in price by like 70% because of imports. But it's just like and the tariffs on the imports that Trump's about to do. And it's like we're going to be pragmatic with the tariffs. They're going to install them where they're needed. I don't think that every country will be hit with tariffs, and I think that um, some will get higher tariffs than other countries. Some will get lower tariffs. It's about balancing. It's about bringing power back to the American worker. I'm not understanding as a working class person like how this is a bad thing where Trump wants to take away the income tax, not taxing me on my overtime. Like I'll if I don't get taxed on my overtime and I'm getting paid time and a half, like I'm going to want to work overtime. I don't want to work overtime right now. And I hate being forced to work overtime because you just take half of my shit. Like, if I work like over 10 hours of overtime, then I start making, they put me in a different tax bracket. They think like I'm making like $100,000 a year when I'm just like, you know, maybe it's just this month or whatever. Like, I don't want my money taken from me and then given to me back at the end of the year. I don't want that. I want to be able to keep my money, um, and stop taking taxes. Figure shit out on your own. Like, I don't want half of this shit that the government does. Why are you taking my money to do this stupid shit? I don't want these wars. I don't want uh, the government to use my money to spread American propaganda around the world, like trying to spread woke ideology to different countries. I don't want my tax-paying dollars used for that. It's a complete waste. It's a slap in my face too, because I'm out here struggling anyway. Um, so the whole thing with the gas thing is like, why are we relying on any other country for fuel when we have tons of it here that we can drill for? Um, and just having a complete abundance. Countries should be asking us for oil, buying oil from us. We should be completely independent, not relying on anybody else. Um, we still gonna have imports. We still gonna have trade, but isn't it weird how like we buy foreign vehicles and like nobody else buys our cars? Like we only it's just kind of weird. It seems like why are we buying? And, it's just unfair. It's an unfair thing. It's like if you're not gonna buy our cars, then we're not gonna buy your cars. Um, it needs to be a fair thing, and it hasn't been fair. What it's been is complete taking advantage of the working class person. Um, like making us compete with slate. Like how are we supposed to compete with that? Um, People who live in a different economy, um, where like where I live, it costs a hell of a lot more money to live than it does wherever they live. Um, and then like they get paid, like these companies can pay these people nothing because the economy is way worse than it is where I'm at, where everything's so expensive. It's like where is the service people supposed to live? That's what I want to know. Like if you who's gonna work 70, 80 hours a week doing service jobs? Um, if like you know you, you don't make enough, just working a 40-hour job isn't good enough to get by. on your own, that's kind of ridiculous, I think. Um, yes, these lower jobs, service jobs, aren't meant to like be there forever, for sure. You should want to strive to do more for yourself. You should want to, learn some more stuff, like go to a different job. But the thing is, what's crazy is we might not have jobs soon. That's what's so crazy. So it's like none of us might have jobs like real soon within the next 5, 10, 12 years, like 20 years. Like that's not far away. We'll live in a completely different place where we don't have to worry about money, things like that, because robots just do. Like, think about this. Hypothetically, with the Tesla bot, if I was to buy one for like 20 grand, right? And then I go to one of these places where I can work or whatever. I go work somewhere, learn how they do it, and then like, hey, can I bring in my Tesla bot to do my work for me? As long as like they're doing the job as good as I did, or possibly even better, like why would they need me there? You know what I mean? The problem is like if my Tesla bot starts malfunctioning and not doing the job correctly, then we're gonna have some big issues. But like, yeah, buy a Tesla bot, train it to do my job. It goes and does my job for me, and then my job pays me. The job pays me, and I don't have to be there. Like that's what could happen. Like seriously. Um and people don't understand that. Like the Tesla bots are coming out soon. So it's kind of like those are just like the primitive, like wait till we have the robots in the future. You won't be able to tell the difference between like a human and a robot. Like they're gonna have robots, that just do their regular standard functions. Like you go to a restaurant and it's all done by robots. The food's 3D printed, everything's maybe it's possibly like I've seen a Black Mirror episode basically where it just like de-atomizes things and re-atomizes things into something else. Like, think about this. We don't know much about our world. Like, we think that we do. We think we know everything as humans, and we know a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that we don't understand about this world. The whole thought of this universe, and we don't know where it goes, what the thoughts of like different dimensions and stuff like that. There are microscopic bugs everywhere, bacteria everywhere, dust mites everywhere, but you don't see them. There's bugs moving everywhere. I don't see any bugs, but they're microscopic and they're tiny. And like they it's like a different dimension. It's like a different universe. I can't see them, but does that mean that it's not there? Bacteria can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. That's why I don't sit here and like say, "Oh, there's no creator." There's like I just disprove, like I'm some type of atheist. No, I'm very open-minded, and I think that there's information that has either been left out or been edited in religious text. It's just kind of weird. Like to me, I was talking to some Christian, and they were like, "All that matters is salvation. I don't care about what Jesus did as a teenager, and his life growing up as a child and as a young man. Like, that's interesting to me, man. How did Jesus like come to? How did he figure out that he was different from when did he figure out he's, and then how did he like cope with that? And what did he do? Like, he was perfect, so he didn't do anything wrong at all. um he wasn't perfect, because in the Bible he flipped tables and showed anger. So anger is not perfect. And that's the thing, is like Christians say that Jesus was perfect, and he wasn't perfect. If you're going to tell me that Jesus is perfect and God is perfect, but then like the creator is jealous, genocidal, and like it doesn't make sense to me. um I would just basically have to like ignore facts, or ignore like contradictions, and just be like, "Oh, that's okay." Dude, like, what are you talking about? Um oh, like they're like the whole idea of the Trinity. Like, there's three different gods, but they all are the same. Is utterly ridiculous to me. Like, it's, and I guess I'm wrong in my interpretation, because most people don't. I haven't heard anybody take my side of the argument when it comes to this, about it being a pagan religion. Like I said, I could be wrong, but from what I see, it's just like all you can't be all three, and then like how they're separate. When you call one the Father and the Son, they're separate. They're not the same. And they're trying to be like they're the same. They're not the same. They're on the same team. Yeah, the same team, but they're not the same. They're not the same entity. Like the Father and the Holy Spirit, it's the same thing. Like, that would be the exact same. Like, they're not separate. Like, how is it separate? Like, explain. You know, like, explain yourself. What does it mean? Anyway, so like, and I defend Christianity. I would much rather live in a country where um, Christianity is the primary religion. I don't want to live in a country where Muslim is the primary religion. It's oppressive, highly oppressive. Um, it's brutal. They're extremely brutal. Um, Not all of Muslims. I've talked to plenty of Muslims who are really good people, hard worker, good people. They do what they're supposed to do. I think they've probably assimilated pretty well to America. So it's not all Muslims, man. The Muslim religion just needs to be reformed. That's what happens. The Christian religion, the Catholic religion, Catholicism, it reformed like in the 1700s, and that's what the Muslim religion needs to do. It needs to, like, I would I don't like conservative Muslims. I like liberal Muslims. They're more. I think they're more pragmatic. When I studied like Islamic religion, I wasn't too like. I liked what they were saying, just like in the Christian religion, when it's just like how to live your life, like, you know what I mean. But when the Quran started, it could have been the guy's interpretation. But at the end, towards the end of the Quran, it started saying, like, he started talking about how like Muhammad was referring to himself as like basically being on the same level as God. That's when I started thinking, like, what? Like, dude, you're saying you're Jesus? You're basically, that's what you're saying? And how Muhammad started writing anyway was an angel. I forgot what was his name, Jeremiah or something like that. I forgot the name of the angel. came down and actually like strangled Muhammad. So I don't think that the angel was a good angel. I think it was an angel of deception. And I just think like the Quran is basically the Old Testament rewritten. That's what it is. In a different version to make Muhammad seem kind of like this Jesus figure. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. There's probably information that I'm missing, but that's what I got out of it. Um, but when you know, like it's exposing yourself to different information, so you can come up with different like um hypothesis. You can come up with different like uh conclusions to things. You might change your opinion. You might not. You might end up being not Muslim anymore. Uh, if you only know one thing your whole life, you don't know anything different. Like if you're going to be Amish or something, you don't know anything different. And I don't know. So my whole thing with these leftists is like the adults are back in charge. We're tired of your lies. Yes, our economy is going to have hardship. It always was going to. The difference is possibly we can avert catastrophic failures in our banking systems and economic systems so we can keep functioning as a society. Hopefully we can like have a common goal of like working together instead of trying to blow each other up for resources. We should like strive to have abundant resources for everybody, so nobody has to worry about going homeless, um, starving, um, going without health care. You know, like yeah, have a bunch of robots in healthcare. Like that's what boomers better like people like me better hope robots like basically take over at this point. Um I could be in a lot different position in 5 years. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Life is weird. Um I'm waiting for that catastrophic thing just to totally take out all of my investments and taking me into bankruptcy. You know, what sucks about living nowadays is when you're like completely reliant on yourself and you can't rely on anybody else. Um, you know, like things happen. Like you play a sport, you get hurt, you're out of work for 3, 5, 6 months. You blow an Achilles tendon, you're out of work for 9 months. So what happens? How am I supposed to survive? Like, where am I supposed to go? just like, just sitting in a hospital for 9 months, or they're just going to be thrown out on the street. That's the thing is like, we are having less and less. This would have been remedied by family. Unfortunately, family don't give a fuck about family anymore. So it's kind of like, I mean, everyone's out for themselves, and hopefully this changes. The attitude. Like, seriously, there is no women out there. There's no women. Like seriously. Like for me, I'm lenient on a woman having kids who are older. Your kids are about to be adults. Okay, cool. I can just like maybe we can make something work, and you know whatever, have a relationship. Maybe me not like there's no living together or anything until maybe they move out, but it's like I'm not gonna deal with that like turmoil in that household. Like uh, I don't have any like my kids. I have authority. I've always had authority with my own kids. Any other people's kids, I don't. And then you have to rely on the woman's authority, and you're fucked. So like some women are have better authority than other women, but they don't have the authority of like the father of the kids. And the kids, if I was to come in their lives last minute, like they're teenagers, they're about to be adults, they're not gonna have any type of bond with me. Like they're not gonna care. Like they're not gonna want to do like family things with me. You know what I mean? Like these kids are like I would have to just be that like all you can do in the situation is just be an example. That's it. You can't tell anybody what to do. And I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be in that position. I already almost put myself in that position. I've already raised my kids and it was extremely hard. I don't feel mentally capable of raising any other kids at this point. It was completely exhausting. And at this point, I really need like 6 months off of work and just like wandering the earth, trying to repair emotional trauma and damage and trying to figure out where I want to go with my life. I mean, that's what I need, but like I'm having to grind every day just to sustain a place that I don't own, that I'm just renting, and I can't buy anything. I can't buy a house because everything is just way too overpriced. You know, it's utterly preposterous what's happening nowadays. So like I don't really. I mean, I'm doing the best I can from what I have to work with, which isn't that much. Um, I will say this. Going back to my old job, which I currently work at, and then I'm not like ripping on anybody there. I'm not. When like seeing those people, you know, like they're pretty much not going to learn anything new. They're just sticking with the same job. Um, it's kind of funny because people like don't really know what I've accomplished. They just pretty much. I'm guessing they think that like I pretty much did the same job. This is very similar to what my job currently is. um, but I'm very overpowered, and they don't know that, which is kind of funny. They probably think I'm some type of like scrub. Uh, oh, he had to come back here. Like I came back here for a reason. First off, there's not a lot of jobs in this state. There's not. So the job I have right now is great for job security when it comes to um, a recession, and that's what I've been planning for. I've been planning for a recession, and I've already been feeling it. I've been feeling it for a while, just like anybody else in my class. We've been feeling this for a while. The economy has been doing great for rich people, no doubt about that. But we've been struggling. We've been struggling hardcore, and they don't when they say it's been doing good, and they don't recognize what we're going through. The fact that um I'm canceling my health insurance because it's pretty much worthless. Like, that's ridiculous, man. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, what is the point of my health insurance if, like, they're not going to pay for anything until I pay $13,000? Like, what? and then I have $100 copays on top of that. It's so stupid. It's dumb. Doesn't make any sense. Like what costs are that high? What? Well, because people aren't healthy. Well, let's get people healthy then, all right? And let's get people that are not supposed to be here, that have broken the law, that have come here illegally, out. People who have come here legally are amazing, and they're welcome. I think that we should probably slow down immigration a little bit. Like maybe not. Maybe we need to bring in, but we need to bring in people who love America, man, who are not going to be here and flying the flags that they like. They would rather be at where they came from, man. We don't need people that like. It's cool to like rep what country you come from, but always put that American flag first. Because it's ridiculous for me to move to another country, uh, and then like fly my flag first over their flag. That's just so. That's like so pompous and arrogant. Um, like, why are you here? Get out. We don't want you here. You should fly our flag first. Um, but these companies have been using slave labor. They've been cutting corners for decades. This has been going on for decades. Outsourcing our jobs, making us compete with slave labor. Now, what's going to happen is they can, pay the tariffs, and then what they'll do is they'll put the tariffs on us. So, like, people who buy their Apple phones, or pretty much all the electronics here are gonna, like, the electronics that come in here are going to go up in price big time. So what does that mean? That means whatever we have here currently. So if you have a TV, you got an extra phone, you're going to be able to. People are going to be buying things used more. That's what's going to happen. Because it's not like we have nothing here, and that's what the leftists act like. They act like we don't have any TVs or any electronics here. No, we do. We have a ton of that stuff here. So somebody will go up on, I'll just start putting everything that I own up, like when the tariffs hit, on Marketplace or eBay, and then starts, I can compete. I'll be able to compete with these big companies. People are going to start buying stuff used, and that's what people should do. Is like, we should be, instead of everything always being brand new, if we can use stuff that's been used, that's a good thing. We don't have to have everything always brand new. So like, these big companies are actually going to have to like compete with us, because like I can make since my stuff is used, it's not brand new. Obviously, I'm not going to make it as expensive as the import, but it's going to go up in price. It's going to go up in value big time. Like, everything that you own already is going to go up in value. Like, everything here is going to go up by a ton. And they don't talk about this. They're just like a one-trick pony that doesn't understand this is a great win for capitalism. This is how capitalism will thrive. But the left they don't want to work. They don't want to work for anything. They want to take other people's stuff. And that's how I feel when I see like office people. I look at office people and I'm just like, wherever I've worked, I've looked at office people, and I'm looking at them and like, they're worthless. Like, I'm the one doing like all the work. Yeah, you can do numbers and this and that, but it's like, we can make systems with computers that replaces your job completely right now if they invest. Think about you're a company and you're like, we have this much cash. So when you're a company, you get to look at the future, you get to look at technology, the evolution of technology as well. You can be like, hey, listen, we're paying these people like 6 figures. So like we're paying all these office people like, let's just say like $50 million in your company, your corporation or whatever a year. Well, if we can have an AI system that does all the accounting, all the payroll, all the scheduling, all that stuff, like shipping, scheduling, all that stuff, like whatever you're doing into your numbers, AI does it. And some system that the company has invested in to replace all these jobs. So guess what? Instead of that $50 million going to these people, it's gonna they can probably pay the people like me who actually do the work, do the hands-on, valuable, the actual work, the physical work, either producing or moving products. We're the backbone. If it wasn't for us, things wouldn't be done. You wouldn't have stuff. Most of these people just handle the logistics and they don't do nothing. They just like screw off, man. They just sit there and like they're just a complete waste. Like they're a complete waste of time, and that's what's about to happen with our government. And I don't think that they should have 2 years severance pay. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, we have to have a heart. But, if I was to get fired, if I'm going to get laid off, I'm not going to get a 2-year severance pay. I'm not going to get shit. Why the fuck should I care about these federal workers? If you want to give them a couple of months, like you did in Tesla, that's cool. But, 2 years is, way too excessive for these people. They can assimilate. They can find jobs. They can go dig ditches, whatever they need to do. There's going to be plenty of jobs opening up for sure. A lot of companies opening up too, to compete with these monopolies. The left wants power. They don't care about economics. They don't care about anybody else. All they care about is having power. The fact that they lost the popular vote and America voted overwhelmingly for the Republicans, they're in such denial that they're not the majority. They thought that they were the majority. And the truth of the matter is, they rely on low information voters, and that's all it is to it. Like, they don't have the numbers they think that they have. They put out their propaganda, and most people just trust the mainstream media because that's what's been programmed. And that's the news, man. That's how it was when I was growing up. Yeah, that's the news. That's how you get your information. They should be, not just being on either side. Just tell me what I need to hear so I can figure it out on my own. Tell me the facts. Don't tell me what you think, your opinion. But they become that. They become like somebody's opinion. And it's a narrative propaganda that these people are driving. And most of the people that vote for a Democrat, they're on my level. They are more aligned with me ideology than they are with the left. They just think that because the left paints people like me as a fascist, or Nazis or whatever, which is a bunch of bullshit, man. That's why a lot of people have been hesitant to embrace Trump because of the lies. The complete lies, man. If Trump was a dictator, if Trump was anything like Hitler, there's no way I would be supporting him. I like the stuff he says. I like how he's been pragmatic in his and changing things. He's basically a 90s Democrat dude. That's what he is. He's basically almost he's like Bill Clinton but right wing. He's kind of that's what he basically is. So and the fact that like how they adored Elon and now they're demonizing Elon as well just because he's not on their like this is what I'm saying, like you can do all this good, you can change, you can get rid of climate change, you can like cure cancer, you can do all these good things, you can save puppies on your free time from burning buildings, and the left will still demonize you no matter what. It's like this cult is, even if it's like they won't come to any type of common ground with reality. Um, so like anything a Republican says, they're automatically just gonna oppose it, even if it's like if you're not a serious person. It's just like, oh, the first thing you do is just gonna oppose everything, even if it's like beneficial for you. I'm just gonna oppose it. No, I'm oppose it. Oh, I have a life saving technology that we can like extend the person that you care about's life. They're about to pass away. No, no, no. I'm not gonna help you. Like we like hypothetically, if I was to be like, I think that everyone should have legs, they would be like, they would start trying to like cut their legs off. You know what I mean? It's like they're absurd. They're absurd. They're not reasonable people, and this is why like people, more intelligent people like myself, seen this a while ago, even before Elon. But you know, Elon's busy, man. He didn't have. He probably wasn't even like really paying attention. He was worried about his companies. You know what I mean? He wasn't really worried about like political things, and kind of just fell in his lap, I guess. I don't know what woke him up. I like to know. Um, to get him to be like so red pilled. But you can see how these people are not serious people. Like Elon's doing a lot of good things for our world. Um, when you sacrifice, when you put your personal wealth on the line, like he has multiple times for the betterment of humanity, I think he generally wants the best for humanity. I think Trump does as well. The average leftists, I think, are just phony and they act like it. They just want power, man. It's like nothing has really changed from the slave master mentality they had when they were slave owners. Like that's what they want. They want, they like slave labor so they can have their low prices. Um, but yeah, like it's not as like I said, I'm not an economist for sure, but like I have a general understanding of things. And to sit here and be like, oh, this is going to be, yes, we're going to have some turmoil. We were going to have some disruptions in our economy. Anyway, we have to correct whatever the hell the Democrats have been doing because it's completely unsustainable. And we have a huge workforce here. Like, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to do these jobs, then don't. Then starve. You're not going to get welfare anymore. I'm sorry. Like, you have to work. You have to do something. You can't just you can't just lay there and have a bunch of kids and then act like that's going to stop you from like working. Like, no. The government is not your baby daddy. The government is like, yeah, people need help. There should be a safety net for sure. But like this, it's ridiculous for people to keep popping out kids when they're reliant on the system anyway. It's stupid. Um, this should not be happening. I want there to be a lot of kids. I want there to be like tons of kids. I want there to be families everywhere. But we have to like provide good environment for like kids to be raised in. We shouldn't just be having kids. So like what? So we keep on like having mental illness. We keep on like like the whole idea with these right wing people like Tim Pool. He's not really right wing, but like they keep on talking about the demographics, and I understand what they're saying. I get it. But you just want like slaves like Elon's creating robots. we don't need humans to do these jobs. It doesn't make any sense. And like the whole, like I understand the whole coming to work, like, but if somebody can do the job remote, like I don't want them on the road. I want less people on the road. I hate that there's so many people on the road, man. Um, let them work from home. Less like weirdos in the office, like less weirdos at work I have to worry about. I like working on the weekends. There's no office people. There's no like higher ups. Um, so yeah, it's like they only think one way, and that's it. And like they pretty much just like copy somebody else's idea. They don't come up with anything else on their own because they're afraid of like being ostracized or anything like that. That's all it is. These people in the left, because they are in a cult and they completely project. They gaslight and project. And I'm thinking the crisis scenes haven't been online, and I guess they quit social media. Good for them. That's cool. They should focus probably on their family, especially like if you got like 20, like Ed Cressicine said he had like $28 million worth of Bitcoin. Like, why are you spending all day on Twitter? Why are you spending all day on X? Why aren't you spending time with your family, dude? It doesn't make any sense. Like he was posting like how much money he didn't make compared to other people, and I guess it's because like most of his interactions were bots. You know, in order to get paid, you have to have interactions with verified users. That's how it is. So the left has flocked to Blue Sky. So what's going to happen is they're just going to end up getting. I think they've done this with Threads they were talking about, and they'll eventually start coming back because they'll end up getting bored, like an echo chamber. Like you're gonna start seeing a bunch of cults emerge, though. Like you're gonna see it, weird cults. You know, like you have to expect it to happen. People with like people just like do extreme things just for clicks. That's all it is. So, like, I think a lot of people present themselves online a certain way, but they really don't believe all that stuff that they're saying. When they're talking about, like, pronouns and switching, like, oh, I can switch genders. Like, no, you can't. You can't just. This is why I don't like YouTube. This is why I don't. Because it's like, I can't get into certain topics. I can't talk, like, just freely. I have to, like, great, I'm probably gonna get a strike, or hopefully they just take down my video and don't give me a strike. But it's just like, dude, that's just being reality. Can we be in reality? Yeah, I understand reality sucks, but like I'm forced to be here, and I really don't want to be here, but I have to be here. So then that's being reality. You know, I think reality is boring. I want reality to move actually faster. I need it to move quicker for me. Because my brain moves too fast. I get bored. I need it to move quicker to keep my focus. But anyway, I guess that's it.